Bravo stop casting housewives because of their political beliefs? Well, Andy Cohen says absolutely not. The conversation started on Threads after a viewer asked Andy, "Why so many MAGA women? I can't watch OC anymore because of them." To which Andy responded, "If we didn't showcase people with different POVs, there would be no show. Also, it's a show about the women and their relationships, not about politics." And I know this may be an unpopular opinion with some people, but I actually agree with Andy here. And listen, I'm not even an OC Housewives fan right now. I'm not watching this season, but for me, that has nothing to do with their politics. I personally found them to be one of the meaner franchises, and after watching the way Katie was iced out last season, it just wasn't fun for me to watch anymore. And I'm not going to judge you if you watch or don't watch the show. But I have seen a good number of Bravo fans online saying their reason for not watching is their belief that a large portion of this cast is MAGA, and they don't want to support that. Now, Andy didn't identify which Real Housewives of Orange County cast members he was referring to, but Tamra Judge jumped in to publicly say that she isn't MAGA after her OC cast politics became part of the conversation online, and same with Heather Dubrow, who also posted, "Me either." But I think the larger question here is actually pretty interesting. Should someone's political beliefs determine whether they belong on a reality show? Because personally, I'm not MAGA. I don't agree with MAGA politics at all, but I also don't think the answer is pretending that people with those beliefs don't exist, especially on a show that is literally supposed to be about reality. And part of what makes Housewives interesting is putting women in the same room who come from completely different backgrounds, who have different values, different lifestyles, different opinions, and watching what happens. And I actually do worry about this larger idea that the solution to political division is simply cutting people out who think differently than we do, because if everyone only surrounds themselves with people who already agree with them, when are we ever supposed to have conversations that might actually change someone's mind? Sometimes people moderate their views because they're exposed to another perspective, and that works both ways. Now, where I do get frustrated is when someone clearly holds certain beliefs, but suddenly becomes vague about them because they're worried about the backlash. In my opinion, if you believe something, own it. I'd rather know what someone actually thinks and decide for myself how I feel about them than have everybody carefully curate their opinions because they're afraid viewers might disagree. But I do think that there is an important distinction between Bravo giving someone a platform specifically to promote their politics and Bravo casting someone whose politics happen to be different from yours or mine. Those obviously aren't necessarily the same thing, and I think Andy's point is that Housewives was never supposed to be a show where everyone passes the same political litmus test before getting a diamond, orange, or snowflake. It's supposed to follow these women and their actual lives, and sometimes reality includes people whose beliefs you strongly disagree with, but I'm really curious what you think about this one because I know people are going to have very different opinions here. Do you agree with Andy that Housewives should include women with different political viewpoints, or do you think there are certain political beliefs that should factor into Bravo's casting decisions? And does knowing a Housewives or any reality TV star's politics actually change whether you want to watch them? Let me know in the comments.